I'm with Mr. Femi Aborisade, a renowned human rights activist and a labor lawyer that is of high repute in Nigeria, and we are honored to have you and your audience here. So, we are an organization that is very interested in explaining the systematic problems in this country, and we want to have your perspective to tell us that in the face of the daily and unending crisis in this country, can you just educate us on the nature of the political economic system running this country and causing immense hardship to the people every day?
Well, the root cause of the crisis facing the Nigerian ordinary people is traceable to the capitalist system that we run. The capitalist system is concerned with advancing, promoting, protecting the greed, the profit greed of the rulers as against the basic needs of ordinary people. So we are running a system, the capitalist system, that is exploitative. It survives on denying ordinary people enjoyment of the resources of the society. The ruling class monopolizes the resources belonging to all, and by the nature of that exploitative system, it is inevitably repressive. Once the state, by the state I refer to what is popularly called the government, once the state is unable to satisfy the basic needs of ordinary people, and they know, those who are wielding power know that they are sitting on the common patrimony, the only option left for them is to repress, to keep the people down in order to sustain the status quo. So that system, in terms of governance system, is also exclusive rather than being inclusive. Exclusive in terms of excluding ordinary people from having access to participation in the running of the affairs of the society. That is why, for example, to form a political party, to participate in elections in this country, you need to have a political party established in the nature of national institutions, such as the Nigerian Police Force, for example, which exists in every part of Nigeria. So, by constitutional provisions, to form a political party, you must have offices in all the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. You must have members in the Executive Council of the political party from all the states of the Federation, at least 2/3 of the states of the Federation. You must establish offices. Now, when you look at it, it is only people who have looted the public treasury that can have the resources to establish a political party to participate in election. So ordinary people are automatically excluded. That is why political parties set up by people who cannot loot, even if they were in public office. People who have not looted and who cannot loot cannot make any impact politically in terms of winning elections. And then they have gone ahead to now deregister political parties on account that they have not been able to win elections. Again, ensuring that ordinary people are excluded. They are excluded because once they are unable to have political parties that speak to their aspirations, that have programs that can meet their aspirations, the interests of ordinary people and ordinary people are automatically excluded. So we have a situation, we run a system wherein resources are concentrated, the wealth of society is concentrated in the hands of a few. When we have that kind of situation, only very few people will determine those who win elections. They use the apparatus of coercion, to intimidate, and they also use the resources they control to induce to ensure that they achieve what is called political capture. So concentrated funds, wealth in the hands of a few, would lead to political capture. Political capture would imply exclusion, would deepen economic exclusion and political exclusion. And that is why we are in the mess that we have found ourselves. Those who are in power run society not from the point of view of the interest of ordinary people, excuse me, but from the point of view of perpetuating their own economic interest.
Thank you very much, sir.
And maintaining themselves in power in perpetuity.
Thank you very much, sir. So what we are trying to point out is that the Nigerian state itself, or what we call our government, is not the government of the people, but a government of a certain bunch of elites or individuals that have cornered political strength and power and the resources of the country. And people must understand this. So I don't think they are getting this. And should this be the reason why we see every policy of the states being anti-people and anti-progressive? Could this be a reason, because of all these things as you mentioned? Is this why every single policy that the state is dishing out is to suppress and repress the people?
The character of the state in Nigeria, and indeed in Africa, is designed to wage war against the people, against the interest of the people. It is a terrorist state, waging war, designed, nurtured, equipped to wage war against the people. That is why once they get to power, position of power after elections, the concern of the people is what to do, what activities to put up to tackle them, to ensure that we win some concessions from the state, because they always look for opportunity to go into public office, not to use public power for public interest, but to use public office against public interest. That is the character of the state that we have. Indeed, the politicians, the bourgeois politicians, are indeed the problem of Nigeria. They should be perceived, they should be seen as the class enemies of ordinary people. Ordinary people should not look up to them for solution, because they are the problem.
So, thank you very much for that beautiful answer. Sir, what can be done to awaken these ordinary people in this very crucial time and stage of the Nigerian history, to reinvigorate them, to wake them up to the struggle that they have before them? What can be done to raise their consciousness, sir?
A lot can be done. A lot is being done, but we need to do more. We need to find the road to the masses. By finding the road to the masses, we need to relate to their daily challenges, the struggles, problems of everyday life. The roads are not good. Let us mobilize them to ensure that where they live, the roads are good. No water. We should not fold our arms. Let us relate with them. Wages are not being paid. Let us organize workers, identify with them. Medical doctors are on strike for COVID-19 related demands. Let us identify with them. Let us insist, for example, that the COVID-19 funds that have been mobilized should be devoted to improve, to overhaul the medical system in shambles in the country. That is the least concession we should win from the state at this point in time. They have mobilized about 40 trillion naira in the name of COVID-19. Yet they say they have only set aside 2 trillion. No, about 40 trillion has been mobilized. And we have not seen the impact of what they have mobilized. In the final analysis, they will pass these funds to their friends. The big business will monopolize the funds. So the challenge, our challenge, is to identify with the people. Our challenge is also to insist that at this point in time, political parties that have influence only within a ward should be allowed to exist. If a political party has influence only within one local government, it should be allowed to exist. We should not continue to accept the agenda that to participate in politics, you must have offices in all the 36 states of the Federation. No party that has not looted can make impact electorally. So let us insist, if a political party has influence only within a state, for God's sake, I may just be concerned with ensuring that sanity prevails in the state or in the local government or in the world where I live. Why make it compulsory for me to have a presence in every state of the Federation? And they know that once we get over that hurdle which they have established, that will be the end of their political hegemony. That is why they will not easily, amend our constitution, pass laws to facilitate the establishment of that kind of regime. In Britain, 3 friends, as you are, 3 of you can form a political party. 3 of you, because you only need to submit names of 3 officers, including the treasurer. And you're free to go. Nobody imposes on you, demands that you cannot meet. If we have that kind of system in Nigeria, I am sure that the left, the small parties of the left, people who have not looted, who look for the empowerment of the people, will be controlling several states in Nigeria. Minus, if we remove the requirement of having presence all over Nigeria, if all radical forces in Lagos State come together, we can easily, even with their money, exclude the ruinous political parties of the PDP and the APC from power. So let us link two things now I'm trying to emphasize. Let us identify the daily needs of the people, identify with them, struggle with them, make sacrifices with them, so that even when politicians bring millions of naira, the knowledge that you had suffered with them, you had been tear gas along with them. When their houses were demolished, you stood by them. When they were fighting for water, you stood by them. That bond that you have established personally can never be broken with monetary wealth. So we need to identify with the daily struggles, daily issues agitating our people, but we must also link that with a political structure, a political regime that will allow individuals to contest and small parties having influence in one ward, in one local government, or in one state to exist, such that in the final analysis, if possible, electoral alliances can now be formed with other radical forces in other local governments, in other states, and then we can establish, our presence. And I'm convinced, if the left forces in this country are able to control just one local government, within 4 years they will set an example to the Nigerian people, to follow. It is not impossible. It is possible.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
We have to look at, you said something about the political hegemony of this ruling class. We now have to step further to look at our educational institutions, the cultural institutions, and even religious institutions. How come we have so much lack of revolutionary knowledge, revolutionary ideology in the whole society, such that the youth population that is supposed to be a force for change are essentially dormant or even captured by this same bourgeois type of politics? How come we have this problem so pervasive in our society?
I don't agree with you that we lack revolutionary knowledge. I don't agree with you. The people, ordinary people, don't fight for high-valuing ideas. They fight for material things that affect them. And even youths, student youths and non-student youths have been fighting from time to time. Lagos State University, the school fees was raised to about 500,000. The students mobilized, and it was reduced to 25,000 or so, isn't it? It is not until they say they are Marxists or they are socialists that they have ideas. So it is those Marxists, socialists, who should now relate their own ideas with the daily needs, the daily challenges, identify with them and say, unless we change this system, these problems would continue. You may win the struggle today, it may be taken away tomorrow. So our people are fighting, market women are fighting, pensioners are fighting everywhere. Workers are fighting, medical doctors are fighting, striking every day. They may not be Marxists, but they are fighting. We need to relate with them, identify with them, and invite them to join us. Otherwise, we remain sectarian. Our people are fighting. Yeah. They have always been fighting.
Yeah. Thank you.
They have been showing, a tremendous commitment and sacrifices in waging their wars. We have the problem of the inability to synergize, to provide a platform to unify the anger of the people against the state. Our people have been fighting.
Thank you very much.
They are revolutionaries.
Yes, sir. I'll have to look inwards to the legal profession now. We know that there's the election of the NBA about going on, and there's Mr. Ogunlano for president of NBA. I don't know if you want to share your thoughts about what the MBA's role is and how it can also participate to bringing up radical awareness amongst the people, especially, as we said, there's political capture amongst the ruling elite, and we know that this class struggle also exists in the Bar Association. So what can you educate us or enlighten us about the intricacies of that dynamic?
Well, the MBA is a professional association. The legal profession is a conservative profession, interested in in sustaining the system. Okay, we may only have some radical lawyers, but that you have radical lawyers does not mean you have a radical MBA. MBA, like any other professional body or trade union, is primarily concerned with the interests of their members, and it is a conservative profession interested in sustaining, fundamentally the capitalist system, to keep their law in place. That a law is unjust is not, will not be the main concern about the legal profession as such. But if you now have a leader of the MBA that has a radical background, that has, for example, a Marxist or socialist background, such as the late Alao Akapa Sharon, then you can envisage a situation in which that organization, that professional body, can now take on issues that affect, the wider society and carry the members along. That unless we change, the wider political space, even your profession is endangered, as we have seen in recent years. So we may have occasionally radical leaderships of the MBA that will challenge the state, but the MBA is a professional body, a professional association, concerned with, which is conservative. Ordinarily, it's a conservative, a profession. But we can have leaders occasionally that may provide radical leadership.
Thank you, sir. Just to wrap it up, for educated youths and people that are seeking to spread revolutionary knowledge, that are interested in it, that want to see a fundamental and systemic change in the society, what singular advice would you give to people like us out there that is willing and ready to change the system, sir?
The advice that I will give, I will borrow the ideas of Frantz Fanon. Frantz Fanon he was who said, every generation, and I want to add, every individual must, out of relative obscurity, discover his or her mission, fulfill that mission, or betray it. That has been my own guiding principle from my very youthful age. I see myself not just as an average person. I see myself as someone born to impact the world, to change the world, leave the world better than I met it, and in the interest of the downtrodden. That no matter the challenges, I would not join the rot. No matter the challenges, I will side with the people. I will fight along the people. I will stand shoulder to shoulder with the people. That is not a mission for an ordinary person. I'm not ordinary. I see myself I also always tell myself, to the best of my ability, if I don't do what I'm doing at any point in time, who else will do it? Nobody will do it. And I recommend that approach, that perception to the Nigerian youth. Unless they change their reality, the reality of the Nigerian, the reality of poverty, in the midst of plenty, in the midst of wealth, will not disappear. This is not the age of miracles. This is not the age of manna dropping from heaven. We need to organize consciously, do our bit to bring sanity into our society. It is possible to change the world. Whether we change, whether we succeed or not, let us side with justice, struggles for justice, struggles for freedom. Let us leave our mark on the sand of history.
Thank you very much for sharing the time with us, sir.
Thank you.
We appreciate it, sir.
Thank you. Once again,
Thank you very much, sir.
the new